sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
Okay, so you know how sometimes a jingle just gets stuck in your head like for years and years? I bet you can still sing that one about sunshine in every glass, right? You know the one for Florida orange juice. Yeah. But the woman behind that sunny smile, Anita Bryant, she's got a legacy that goes way beyond citrus.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Miss Oklahoma, Grammy-nominated singer, even performed for presidents. Talk about the American dream, right? Which I think makes what happened later in her life so interesting and kind of shocking, too.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild turn from wholesome to, really controversial. And that's what we're going to deep dive into today. Her anti-gay activism back in the 1970s, it didn't just derail her career, but it honestly shaped the whole landscape of LGBTQ plus rights in America.
Definitely. I mean, we can see echoes of it even now, like with the Don't Say Gay bill.
It's crazy to see how history repeats itself sometimes.
It really is. But okay, so to get back to Bryant, I think that turning point in Miami-Dade County back in 1977 is really key. They had just passed this ordinance that was, huge at the time. It banned discrimination based on sexual orientation.
Yeah. A big step forward.
All right, a big step.
And then, bam, here comes Bryant with her Save Our Children campaign.
Exactly.
I was reading about the tactics they used, and it's kind of scary how they basically made it seem like LGBTQ plus people were dangerous to kids.
Oh, yeah. It was very strategic. They really knew how to tap into people's fears. Like, they used words like recruitment and implied that gay people were, predators or something.
That's awful.
It is. And one of Bryant's quotes that really stuck with me was, homosexuals cannot reproduce, so they must recruit. I mean, wow. You can see how that kind of statement would totally freak people out.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's playing on people's deepest fears about their kids.
All right.
And the crazy thing is, it worked. They actually overturned that ordinance.
Yep. And that was a major setback for the LGBTQ plus community, no question. It shows you how much influence Bryant had, especially with conservative religious groups. Don't forget, this was the 70s. The gay rights movement was just starting to gain some momentum, but there was a ton of pushback, too.
Yeah, it was a different time for sure.
For sure. And Bryant's campaign was, it was a big win for the folks who wanted to put a stop to all that progress.
But it seems like that win came with a pretty high cost for Bryant herself.
Oh, absolutely. The backlash was huge. I mean, the Florida Citrus Commission, the ones with OJ and her most famous endorsement.
Yeah.
They dropped her instantly. And so did Coca-Cola. Then her agent, gone. And eventually she filed for bankruptcy. Not just once, twice.
Wow.
Twice. That's a lot to lose, even if you really believe in your cause. I guess it shows how much things were changing in society, right? People were starting to reject that kind of hateful rhetoric, even if it meant turning against someone as popular as Anita Bryant.
Yeah, I think you're right. It really speaks to how the LGBTQ plus rights movement and their allies were gaining ground. Yeah. They understood how dangerous Bryant's message was, and they fought back hard.
Makes you wonder what was going on inside her own family during all this.
Yeah.
Like, we know her granddaughter, Sarah Green, came out to her on her 21st birthday.
Yeah, that's a pretty powerful story. What did Bryant say? Do you remember?
Well, according to Sarah, Bryant told her that being gay wasn't real.
Wow.
It's just, I don't know, it's really complicated. Here's this woman who spent so much of her life fighting against LGBTQ plus rights, and then in her own family, she's got someone who's gay. It's hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah. I mean, it makes you think about those family dinners, right?
Oh, I mean.
Must have been tense. But I guess it shows that these aren't just political debates. They affect real people, real families.
Exactly. And it brings us to that Don't Say Gay bill in Florida, the one that bans talking about sexual orientation and gender identity in schools.
Yeah. It's hard not to see the similarities to Bryant's Save Our Children campaign.
Oh, totally. They both basically say that LGBTQ plus people are dangerous to kids. They use fear and lies to justify discrimination. It's like this pattern that keeps repeating in history. We take a step forward, and then there's a backlash, and then another step forward.
It's almost like history is rhyming, even if it's not exactly the same. And that's why understanding people like Anita Bryant is so important, right?
Absolutely.
She shows us how people in power can twist words and manipulate fear to get what they want, and how those actions can have consequences that last for generations.
It's wild to think that her rhetoric, even though her career basically tanked, is still echoing in these current debates. It makes you wonder how these figures from the past, even the ones who messed up pretty badly, still manage to influence what we talk about today.
Yeah. It's a good question to think about for sure. And for everyone listening, if you're interested in this, you should really check out some stuff from the 70s, like old newspaper articles or interviews. It'll give you a better sense of what it was like back then.
It's not just about one person or one campaign. It's about understanding how powerful words can be, how social change happens, and how people have been fighting for equality for a long time.
Anita Bryant's story might be messy and controversial, but there are definitely some lessons to learn from it.
Lots of lessons.
And on that note, we'll leave you to keep digging into this fascinating part of history.
Enjoy the deep dive.
See you next time.